Well, there's science behind everything. There really is. And there's one man who knows how to find the science behind even seaweed. Yeah. One of nature's most underrated gifts is our kitchen scientist, Mr. Dan Kohler. Dan. Nice to see you, Danny boy.
Nice to be here. Nice to be here.
Why are we hearing so much about seaweed in this comeback of it?
You know, I would say we're hearing about seaweed a lot for two reasons. Number one is what I call the quality of its character, and number two is that it's incredibly sustainable. So seaweed doesn't need any soil to grow, it doesn't need any fertilizer, and you don't need to water it because it's in water all the time. But let's talk about that quality of character. Seaweed has been shown to have up to 10 times the amount of vitamins and minerals of vascular plants. Vascular plants are the plants that grow on the earth, grow above the ground. Mm-hmm. It's got iodine, it's got potassium, it's got magnesium, it's got calcium, it's got more iron than spinach or an egg yolk. So we see this a lot because it's so healthy for you. And in beauty products, the science really comes in. There's a couple of substances called hydrocolloids. Hydrocolloids are chemical compounds that are found in seaweed that actually hold on to water. They don't want to let it go, and that makes beauty creams and lotions very smooth, and actually when you put it on your skin, it holds moisture close to your skin, which, as we all know, reduces fine wrinkles.
Could you do a seaweed facial?
We can definitely do a seaweed facial.
Let me ask you, are there different kinds of seaweeds?
Yes, there are a lot of different kinds of seaweeds, and actually, seaweed is a terrible name for this. What we're actually talking about here is benthic macroalgae.
Oh, all of it, much more easy to pronounce. Yes.
Obviously. So benthic means plants that are grabbing onto the bottom of the ocean floor, and macroalgae means very large algae, and it's divided into three groups based on their color. We have brown algae, which you've seen here, dry and wet, and we normally hear of this as kelp. This is a local variety called kombu. Then you have green algae. Green algae grows at shallower depths, and it has much more chlorophyll. This is sea palm. And then you have red algae, which to me is the most interesting variety. It's called red algae. You can see some of that red tinge on the edge there. This can grow in the darkest depths of the ocean, up to 268 meters below, it's been found, where there's only 0.0005% of the sunlight penetrating. It can still photosynthesize at that depth. That's why it's so dark.
What's even more interesting is only James Cameron can go get it.
That's right. That's right. Now, seaweed, we actually often think of seaweed as being served in Japanese restaurants and in a lot of Asian restaurants, but it's been eaten around the world for centuries. We have evidence in 600 BC of it being served in China. The author Setu wrote that there are some algae that are a delicacy fine enough even for the king himself. And then in the 10th century, we find even more evidence from the Vikings. All around Iceland and Norway, they were eating kelp because it was so full of vitamins and minerals for them that they needed it to survive.
This isn't the stuff you find on the beach, right?
This is exactly the stuff you will find on the beach.
On the beach, you can eat this?
Yes, and making a salad truly is like no more complicated than chopping this up finely and dumping some dressing on it. Yes, sir.
So when I get my sushi roll, they just walk down to the beach and they got something and drug it up and
I mean, it's close. It's close. But the interesting part about it, now you saw I used some cooked kombu for that, but what I want to show you right here is the more interesting part. Remember I said those hydrocolloids earlier? Look at that slime that's sticking right off there. Do you see this? That is not water. This is a hydrocolloid protein.
Wow. That's gross.
Yeah, that's in your. This is what's used in those beauty products. This is the most magical substance. All of a sudden, it's. Oh my goodness! Do you see how?
Oh, yeah.
So
that does not make.
This is called dietary soluble fiber.
It's not a good advertisement.
It's responsible for about 50% of the weight of the seaweed, and it comes in 3 varieties, and we use them commercially. They're called agar, carrageenan, and alginate. And you find some of these things in dairy products. You find them in ice creams, you find them in other desserts, and they're actually thickeners. So if it's a word you're scared of, if you think it's a chemical additive that you need to stay away from, carrageenan actually is just seaweed extract. It's this seaweed snot, to be nice.
Okay, I need to know, is this gonna give me X-ray vision or leap buildings in a single bound?
It definitely is. Like I said earlier,
are there nutritional things that are far superior?
Like I said, it's got 10 times the amount of vitamins and minerals of a vascular plant. It's got more iron than an egg yolk or spinach, and it's got more iodine than any plant on Earth.
What's the kind that they use the sushi rolls with?
Sushi roll is made out of this. It's made out of nori.
But what do they do with that?
They're going to take this, grind it up, make it into a sheet, and then retoast it.
So I see them in the supermarkets. They come in sheets where you can.
They're delicious.
Are they good? Are they?
Great for you.
Seaweed, like potato chips.
Yeah, it's great for you.
So good.
Oh, that's good to know. Okay.
Wow.
Very good. For a full recipe for Dan's salad, it's available on our website. And for more great info, be sure to check out renegadekitchen.com. As always, fascinating. Thank you.
Fascinating.
Ken Wingard.
Yes, we're making our hanging number sign out in the front yard. Come join me.